Yeah. So here's another piece, y'all. I put this on my social media page. 50 years of hip hop celebrated last year.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So Diddy would fall under the 50 years, right?
Absolutely.
50 years of hip hop. We easily have Diddy inside of that. Russell Simmons is inside of that.
Absolutely.
50 years of hip hop.
Yeah.
Who else would fit into 50 years of hip hop?
Who wouldn't?
You got Mace. You got
Mace, Redman, Method Man, LL Cool J.
Let's not only talk about the music. Let's talk about the industry as a whole. Let's talk about For Us By Us. FUBU. Wouldn't that fit in that 50 years?
Yeah.
FUBU brand. Damon John.
Damon John. Yeah.
Damon John. Yeah.
Damon John.
All the
Kevin
artists.
Lyles,
Kevin Lyles.
Steve Stout.
Steve. But you can go Andre Harrell.
Yeah.
All right. So we can go down the list talking about music, hip hop.
Yeah.
Talking about the brands that it spawned.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
I want you to think about this. 50 years of hip hop. Music, the industry of hip hop, the merchandising of hip hop, of course, everything associated and related to hip hop. How much money do you think in 50 years did hip hop generate in all of those facets and forms?
Yeah.
How much money? Give me a dollar figure you think that it generated in all that time.
Billions.
I go trillions.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, really put your mind on it.
Absolutely. A lot of money. A lot of money.
I mean, we may be looking at, if you talk about 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Include the revenue from TV shows, because there were a lot of TV shows that were directly related to hip hop.
Yes. And the brands that benefited off of hip hop.
And the brands that generated off of it. How much money do you think that industry generated over a 50-year span?
Yeah, it got to be, like you said,
I would say in the trillions.
Yeah.
Now earlier, I talked about, and I have the stat right here. White people and Asians are 4 times more likely to make the million mark than blacks and Hispanics. Put that in your mind as we're talking about this.
Yeah.
White people and Asians are 4 times more likely to make the million mark than blacks and Hispanics. 59% of millionaires made their first million through entrepreneurship. 59. If I tell you 59% of anything happened and it's positive,
Yeah.
shouldn't you be flowing into that?
Definitely.
Some of your stuff should be in there.
Yeah.
So when I talk about getting a life insurance license, when I talk about having your own systems right and having your own business, an entrepreneur in every home, this is what I'm talking about. Now look at 50 years of hip hop. And I want you all to think with me. Name some major, in that same 50 years, name some major industries that started. Social media.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Name another one.
Cell phones.
Cell phones.
Yeah.
We can go to, outside of that, Elon Musk started with the Starlink and the going to the moon and the space whole program, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the whole
In
industry.
that time, we had cassettes,
Amazon, the
cassettes,
new way to
CDs, and then streaming.
and streaming.
Yeah.
All right. So here's, you know, when I get to stuttering, it's going to be something big. Here is something that we need to consider heavily. If black people are the genesis, like in so many other art forms, of hip hop, who got the money?
Yeah.
Who got that money? And then have we not learned anything? Because there are no new black hospitals in 50 years, owned and controlled. There are no new black colleges started in 50 years, owned and controlled. Can barely keep the ones we have.
Yeah.
Right? There are no new systems. We're still begging the white and Asian than others. We can't even buy hair in our community without the Asians.
Yeah.
We don't own no system, but yet we created something that just celebrated 50 years that is at least a multi-trillion-dollar industry and still making money. And then to boot, many of the artists that created hip hop music over the last 50 years, as of late, have been selling their publishing rights to other companies.
Yeah.
So the music is not even gonna land with black folks.
Mm.
I want y'all to really consider this. As we talk about, how we deal with politics and everything else and what we do have and what we don't have. We had control from an intellectual properties point of view of an entire industry that somebody else must have made all the money. Maybe there were so many culture vultures that we ended up with nothing.
Yeah.
We still begging. Why we begging? And we have an industry that arguably is bigger than social media over 50 years. Why we begging? Where that money at? Diddy couldn't even own himself to the point where he can do like Weinstein. I want y'all to really think about this. He can't do a Weinstein. He don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
He don't have it. And let's parallel that down to our lives. How much are we squandering? How many opportunities are we passing up? How many things and systems have people around us created and we are not helping each other create those things? So when I talk about my 4-year term, I'm saying that it matters more what happens in our house than what happens in the White House. And what we're doing, we are watching great opportunities land with us, and then we're squandering them. What makes so many other communities flourish faster is that first they're working together like we used to do. Black folks used to work together, y'all. That's how we got all this stuff. If you go back in our ancestry, look at all the great things our ancestors did with so much less. How did they do all that? They were working together. We have more degrees. We have more money individually. We have more position, politics, and everything else than ever before. But we have less than the people that only had an 8th grade education or less. Think about that. Consider that. We even elevated to the point where jazz was taken from us back in the day when we had little, right? But then when we had more, years after Little Richard got his song stolen, right? Years after that, there was hip hop. But we can't show where that money is. I want you to think about it. We've come a long way to go nowhere in so many ways. Because maybe we are still up for the bamboozling, like Malcolm X said, that we drank the Kool-Aid or too much of it, that the same white structure that is 4 times richer than you are with the wealth gap, we're so enamored by them that instead of building our own systems, we still want to drink from their fountain because we believe their water is colder. And as soon as we put our head down and go drink from that fountain, they cut it off. Because something has taken this money, and it keeps happening because maybe we're making deals with the devil.